to $2,500 for draw and instant games. The General Store on 24 in Lewis.
Delight just said that, yes, she's excited about the online thing because you can't cheat now.
That's what I just said. I know,
Yeah.
D. I know, D.
Yeah.
Calling me out, girl.
She's just keeping it 100. Don't worry, D. I know how she does.
I'd be like, 1 for you, 3 for me.
It's always
1
funny.
for you, 4
It's
for
always funny how someone in Jessica's house is ahead.
Always
It's
win.
always funny. It's always funny. Every time we do like, oh, let's keep up to date on what's going on, and then all of a sudden, oh, Chadwick's in the lead, Jessica's in the lead, Gemini's in the lead. Always, there's always somebody that's associated.
I know.
With Jessica.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy's moving on up.
Yeah, of course. Of course he is. Caitlin, bracket number 4. Please. Let's see.
This is great.
Oh, yo, here we go. Yes, my man Nate, Coach Nate.
Great. Coach.
No,
Coach Nate.
No, I'm sorry, Nate. I didn't name everybody. I got you. You're in.
All right, he's in.
Make sure I got your bracket. Don't worry about it. You're in.
We'll send out all the links and all that good stuff, but make sure you send that $5.
Don't worry. He will. He's good pay.
I'm a bill collector.
There's some that are bad pay. We'll call them out, but Nate's good pay.
Nate is good pay.
Tuesday, March 14th is when it begins.
Okay.
All right, so
So I'll get everything ready.
thanks, Jess.
Okay.
Here we go. Question of the day. Relationship topics. You ever need anything discussed, you can always email.
Jessica, power1017.com.
Jess, what you got today?
All right. Gosh, this situation. Bill and Jess, I feel terrible. And I just honestly need some advice. I ruined my relationship with my wife of 20 years.
Oh, boy.
This is due to drinking and yelling and leaving home and just saying terrible things. Last year, I went through a very dark period and I drank too much. I yelled too much for no reason at all. Just I was acting like a selfish child. And eventually I left the house to stay at my office nearby. I sent my family incredibly terrible texts and just said horrible things that led to a very bad situation. It became so bad that local social workers had to get involved. And I am so ashamed of this. And it hurts so bad. Now here I am, a few months into recovery. And I guess it's all too late since nobody is talking to me right now or responding to me at all. Now on one side, I want to work to repair the damage and avoid divorce. But on the other, I worry that I need to stop trying. Is it worth it to try? Or is it better to back off and not try at this point? Considering the damage, I really just don't even know what's right. Please help.
I mean, you can only try so much. And then if you're not getting anything back, you got to like back off a little bit. I mean, I think people can change. I think people go through things.
I mean, he's not divorced, so that's good.
Yeah, it depends on
His
how
wife
much his
of 20 years,
wife is willing to put up with.
Is home and has to, go through this, and she has the kids, and local social workers were involved with this. But on the good side, he is, a few months into recovery. I think it's going to take time. And I think counseling, if they get all the parties together and, come up with a plan, they may be able to save it.
I mean, look.
It's going to take a lot of time and work.
I think that it is savable. Well, again, we're not in their house, so I don't know. But if, they love each other, I think they can make it work. I'd like to say that. I wouldn't continue to bug. Just show her you've changed.
And he's, admitting to the things that he did wrong. Sometimes people try to come up with excuses or put the blame on someone else, but it appears that he is, taking responsibility for what he did.
Olivia texting in, you need to talk to your wife and see how she feels and what conditions she has. Then you need to adhere to them. A few months recovery is not long enough to show you won't do this again. You damage your relationships. Therefore, the responsibility is on you to do whatever work is required to repair them if that's what you want. Let's see. Levea's texting in saying, seems like you're still too self-indulged. What you want doesn't matter at this point. It's not about your wants. You don't get to hurt people and then say, okay, I'm ready now, with the exception of them being equally ready. Maybe it's time to consider what is best for your wife and kids. I mean, look, that wasn't really the question. The question was, should he back off or continue to try?
He says, I really just don't know what's right.
I'm sure he's beat himself up so much.
And he's just looking for any advice at all.
Jasmine texting in, watch this show on Hulu called A Million Little Things. Get in therapy too. I agree. Walk your talk.
Yeah, actions.
302-858-5117.
Good morning, Power 1017.
Hi, guys. It's Andrea. How are you?
Hi.
Good morning. Good morning. You got a comment question of the day?
I sure do. Okay, so I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I'm in recovery.
Okay.
And Ray and I have been through it.
Oh, this is Ray's Andrea.
Oh,
I didn't recognize your voice. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi.
But yeah, I mean, we went through it. I mean, I was not a great human 10 years ago, and I will recommend Nar-Anon or Al-Anon, which are like fellowship programs for anybody who has somebody that they love that is struggling with addiction or alcoholism. And I used to say all the time, like, a 12-step fellowship saved my life, and that 12-step fellowship for Ray saved our marriage. Like, without that, I don't know that we could have gotten through some of the things. But he got to understand addiction and alcoholism on a level that I could never understand. And he got to understand that, like, a lot of the things that I was doing or ways that I was acting or whatever, like, they weren't unique to me and they weren't about him. They weren't to hurt him. They were, like, a direct result of the disease of addiction. And I mean, that's a whole argument whether it's a disease or not, but I don't get into all that. All I know is that is, like, my number one suggestion is, but you got to give them space too. Like, there was definitely a time where Ray was like, get out. And I was like, okay.
And you were trying to come back?
No, like, at that point, like,
I mean, before he said, like, get out, you were, like, trying to, work it out and whatever, and he just was like, enough.
Well, yeah, like, at that point, like, I was sober. Like, I went to rehab and everything. And so at that point, I had come back, but my actions hadn't changed any. So he was like, you know what? Like, you got to go. Like, and I didn't fight him on it. I was like, okay, I'm going to go. And I'm not going to, like, mess up. I'm going to stay sober, and I'm going to show you. And I want to say I was, like, less than 6 months sober. And Ray will tell you this. And he came to me, and he was just like, if you had to do it all over again, like, would you do things differently? Now, mind you, Ray and I met when we were 14 and 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, absolutely. Like, I would go back and do all the things differently. And he looked right at me, and he was like, I wouldn't. And I was like, what? Like, I put you through all kinds of stuff. What do you mean you wouldn't go back?
Well, you learn from your experiences, and you wouldn't be the person you are today without going through those things. So
Right. And, like, what he said was, he was just like, the person that you were when I met you, had you never done all of those things and stuff like that, and, like, you just stayed on that trajectory, like, you were a great person, but, like, the person that you are through the program of recovery and, like, what I have seen on a daily basis, that change in you, he's like, the person you are today, like, I would take this person over that person any day, despite all the nonsense. You know? So it's really about, like, changing, like, and living that every single day. And, like, if you live that every single day and you allow them to do what they need to do to heal, it will come back. You know what I mean? Like, just continue to work on yourself. Like, as a person in recovery, like, you have to constantly continue to work on yourself. And then through that, your relationships will change. But, like, you can't force anything. And if your heart's not in it, like, honest to God, like, if your heart's not in it anymore, like, be honest about that too, and allow for that process to go.
And how long are you? How long you been in recovery?
Well, I mean,
how long have you been clean and sober?
There we go.
Yeah.
In June, it'll be 10 years.
Woo!
In June, it'll be 10 years. Very good. Very good. And how long have you and Ray been married and back and all that?
Man, we got married back in 2004. We've been together since 2002, and we met in 1999.
Wow. But
99.
how long have you guys been once you got back together and happy and everything's good to go?
I was only out of the house for like a month, and then he would like come back.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Yes. Yes. Nice. I like to see the happy
Thank you
endings.
for sharing all that, because you definitely are helping others.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's a part of recovery too. Like you got to give it back. Like if people didn't tell me how they got sober and how they fixed their lives, I would have never been able to fix mine. So.
Mm-hmm.
Ray came crawling back home, huh?
Well, actually, he was just like, "You can come back. I guess it's all right." It was more like that.
Right. trying to be hard. Yeah. Okay, Ray.
Ray couldn't wait for his honey to come back.
Please come home. Please. Please.
Oh, he loved you so much. Oh my gosh, he is so in love.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Hey, appreciate you checking in and sharing all that, okay?
All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
302-858-5117. You want to comment? Question of the day. Good morning.